And now on Radio 4, another case for Detective Nobby Lovell. The case of the 65 Eye.
Hello there, young Nobby. Pint of apple, Jack?
No, just half a pint, Sharon. In fact, you better make it a shandy. I've got a case. It all started with a bright and breezy call from Tommy Sycamore from the local golf club. "Nobby," he says, "you best get up your double quick. We found an unusual golf ball on the 6th hole." Well, I gets on my scooter and as quick as a squirrel I scoots there. I must confess I did ignore the traffic lights on Cox Hill, which were rosy red at the time. But time was a-ticking, and as we all know, if a case ain't solved in the first 24, the odds of cracking it go down by 4 and 6 a day. Anyways, I gets there and tromp on out to the 6th tee, ducking the crooked drive of Spud Nugget which whistled past me ear. I met up with Tommy Sycamore in the light rough near the old bunker, and there it was in plain sight. A Dunlop 65 Eye with number 7 on it. A number 7. Imagine that. I had to put my hand on a nearby stake tree to steady myself. I takes out my magic glass and studies the ball. The dimples seemed normal, hardly worn, but I couldn't but notice that one side of the ball had a smear of lipstick across it. Them dimples and their smear of lippy gave me a bit of a clue. Daisy Slatterly were well known in the area for a number of things. First of all, she had these lovely rosy cheeks with cute dimples, and her dimples were hardly worn too, and her lipstick were always applied thickly like. And what is more, Daisy had been reported missing over a week ago. She lived up Wick Lane with her widowed mother. Her dad had had a nasty argument with a runaway tractor 4 years since, and he'd lost that argument. Daisy's mum, Rose Slatterly, don't know why them always using flowers for names, came to the station last Wednesday and said Daisy had not been home after going to a golf club dance with a bloke she'd just met. There were definitely something there that gave me a clue. I must think on this a little deeper. Now, I may not be a man of letters, whether that be the postal sort or the academic type, but the grey matter went into overdrive. Lipstick on a ball, and a Dunlop 65 Eye at that, and on the short par 3 6th hole. The letter of the law would certainly see an anomaly in that. I placed my pinky on the red smear. It came off in my hand. Not yet dry. I smelt it, and once again had to put my hand on that nearby stake tree. This wasn't lipstick. This was blood. I thank the Silbury Hill Fairies for my professional training and for not drinking that pint of applejack at the Horse and Whippet, and started the process of elimination, deduction and deciphering. Why the 6th? Why such a rare ball with the shape of the dimples would suggest it barely been used? Whose blood and why? And then another piece of the jigsaw puzzle went flashing through my bonds. Why was Spud Nugget teeing off the 4th when it was 11:20 hours and ladies' morning? Come to think of it, why was Spud wearing that flowery visor hat and ladies' trousers? Something weren't right, and I wasn't going to be left behind. I was smack bang in the centre of something, and I'd be damned if I was going to turn round. What's more, why did Spud take out his driver on a hole that needed only iron, wedge and putter. And why had he not even given the courtesy "for" shout? I didn't need to scratch me coconut to get the answer to that. He was trying to kill me. There's only one thing more concerning than a killer on a golf course, and that is a pair of 6'4" white-haired aliens in a crop field. But right now I needed to focus on the bloody Dunlop 65i. So let's think deductively. I said aloud, blood on a rare golf ball, spud nugget cross-dressing, and then incorrectly addressing the ball so it nearly took the coconut off. Mere coincidence or a suspicious incidence? I took a ziplock from my detective utility belt, blew it open, and gingerly placed the red and white ball into the bag. This has the makings of a colourful investigation, I mused. It was then that a shiny object in the long grass stole my attention. I dislike thieves at the best times, but I especially dislike them when they steal my attention from me. I thus stared angrily at the shiny object, only to notice that it was a gold-coloured bracelet. I picked it up and noticed an inscription on the inside. It said, "Daisy, Daisy, give me your answer due." Daisy slatterly missing. A cross-dressing ex-seniors captain teeing off on ladies' morning. A Dunlop 65i with blood on it found next to the short par 3. And now a bracelet found close to the ball which may belong to Mistress Slatterly. Bugger me, and I thought Cluedo was tricky.
4.
I threw myself to the floor.
4.
I looked up to see Spud walking towards me.
Saw 4 bloody squirrels this morning, scavenging around the golf club.
Seeing Spud in full make-up, lilac trousers and matching visor made it difficult to fully process what he was actually saying. "Is that mascara and lipstick you got on, Spud?"
Oh, when I woke up this morning and looked in the mirror, I was so sick of having eye bags that looked like Keith Richards' ball sack that I said to myself, "Spud, today's the day. On with the mascara and lipstick and say goodbye to Spud. From now on, I'm Caitlin Nugget."
Well, in the black and white letter of the law, I suppose I had to call Spud Caitlin. It always meant I would have to remove Caitlin from my list of suspects, as there was now a reason he'd teed off at 11:30 on ladies' morning, and also why he sliced his ball so badly off the tee. Must be quite a change from swinging in men's clothes to swinging in ladies' ones. I had slid down a snake and was back to square one. I was going in circles. I had to try and triangulate me thoughts. Just then a thought came to my mind. 4 squirrels scavenging in the clubhouse in January. How odd. But it did explain who had been taking the ready salted nuts from the bar. But why were them squirrels bloodied? Now that there may be a clue. If the blood on the rodents matched the blood on the ball, then we might be getting somewhere. I decided that these squirrels needed a closer look. How did blood get on those squirrels? And was Caitlin, somehow involved? The golf club CCTV, I thought, worth a look. When I perused the security Betamax videos, I drew a blank until I looked back to the evening of the dance, the night Daisy had gone missing. It was the golf club's annual themed dance night, Vickers and Tarts, and by God there were a lot of cross-dressing. I could not even identify Daisy's dimples. It was during the draw that things got interesting. Tickets for the draw had been going at £20 a pop, which might seem a lot of money for a ticket, but not when you consider what the price was, a trip for two to Timbuktu, which had caused a problem for club captain Tommy the Lift Tinkerton to say. Ticket holders marked their golf balls and put them in the bingo barrel. The winning ball was drawn by one of the ladies, and you'll not be surprised to learn that the ball was a Dunlop 65i. A number 7 too. Just as the winning ball had been announced, the lights had gone out, and when they were finally restored, the lady doing the draw and the ball had both vanished. Mayhem resulted and tempers flared all round. The well-developed and well-disguised Lady Bishop who did the draw might well have been Daisy. So I now ask myself, was this cross-dressing get-up of Spud aka Caitlin?
BBC Radio 4 here. Sorry to interrupt, Nobby. That should be AKA.
What? Makes sense. AKA Caitlin. Just a wheeze to put me off the track? Was Daisy lying dead in one of them Greenside's copses? A corpse in a copse has a certain ring about it. There was much food for thought here, which made me think, must be lunchtime. I paused the video and was about to head away and order a scampi and chips for lunch when I spotted something on the screen. 4 squirrels behind the bar pinching the barman's nuts, and there was blood on them. The squirrels, not the barman's nuts. I went into the members only lounge, where I received more than a few stern looks. I should have been wearing either the club tie or a dress, it being Ladies' Day, and was wearing neither. Still, I turned to the occupants in the lounge and told them all to stay where they was, as I would need to question each and every one of them. Their faces dropped, as some of the ladies had already made appointments that afternoon with Dot Itchett, a lovely little lady who ran quite a successful toe-nailing clipping business called Happy Feet. But they all knew I was serious. I am a man whose testimony can imprison someone, and I'm not taken to flights of fancy. I am about facts and the science of criminology. That said, you should never discredit metaphysical concepts. My questioning of the members led me down a cul-de-sac, but while there I was invited for tea and scones by Betsy Baggins for the following Tuesday. As I was leaving the clubhouse, I told Tommy Sycamore to call the station and tell them to send the forensic boys up here presto. I zipped up my trusty wet weather Primark jacket and walked back out to the 6th. I needed to forensically secure the crime scene before it was further contaminated. Just as I was approaching the long grass, where I had found both the likely murder weapon and the bracelet, I noticed young Jonty Pierce, who had just turned 73, walking towards me. Jonty was one of the more officious course marshals, and not someone many at the club wanted to get on the wrong side of. That said, he did have a sense of humour, although it was usually at my expense.
All right there, Nobby Lovell. What are you doing here then? Looking for a dead body?
I didn't rightly appreciate his gallows humour at this time and shot back, "As a matter of fact, Jonty, you may not be that far off the truth."
Well, Nobby, that'll be the second one this morning then.
Except for the flock of cows in Jacob's field across the way, you couldn't hear a pin drop. What did you just say, Jonty? He could tell from my brow and pinched lips that I was serious. Very serious. I pulls out the gold bracelet and the bloody Dunlop 65i from the ziplock and showed them to Jonty. Golf can be a deadly game, Jonty, especially when it's mixed with a crime of passion with a side helping of greed and cunning.
That there is Daisy's bracelet. She told me she lost it t'other night after that Timbuktu raffle. Who handed it in then, Nobby?
No one, Jonty. I fear it is part of a crime of passion. I found it here at the crime scene next to this bloodied golf ball. Jonty let out a howl and then buckled over. My training rushed through my head, trying to remember the Himmler manoeuvre for someone dying of a heart attack. But then I realised that Jonty was actually howling with laughter. And what is so amusing about criminality? I shot back at him.
Well, bugger me. That explains everything. I was marshalling this morning, trying to speed up the gender of the opposite sex, when Edith Cowardin told me she'd seen a dead squirrel in a light rough on the 6th, right under that annoying ash. Well, I eventually found the little bugger popped in a bag and threw him in the garbage at the back of the club. Your find explains everything, Nobby. There's been a pot of squirrels scavenging from the clubhouse since a year back. Probably why the little buggers don't hibernate. Plenty of food and nice and warm. Clever little rascals too. Bit through the wires and the fuse box, causing that there blackout the night of the draw. Anyway, I reckon one of those little buggers must have picked up Daisy's bracelet t'other night and brought it out here. Probably too heavy to hide up their nest in that there ash tree, so it was left in the grass. I reckon the thieving little pecker was up that there ash tree when a stray ball hit by one of the ladies this morning poleaxed the little bugger and down he fell. That there's squirrel blood on the ball, Nobby. Anyway, Daisy'd be right chuffed to get her bracelet back. She's been in hospital for the past week with an infected hand. She said she must have caught it on the edge of the bingo barrel when she was drawing out the winning ball. Oh, Don, you don't think it was one of those pesky critters in the act of stealing her bracelet while the lights were off, do you?
I slowly analysed what Jonty was telling me. Makes sense, I said. By the way, did you know that Spud's a poofter? I returned to the clubhouse and was stared at by a room of prying eyes. "Tommy," I said, "call the station and tell them to turn round the forensic lads. Case solved." The room erupted into instant spontaneous applause. I slowly walked to the bar. "A pint of Applejack, please, George. And don't make a song and dance about it." "Right, here you are, Nobby. I go cleaning windows to earn an honest bob for a nosy packer. It's an interesting job. Now it's a job that just suits me. A window cleaner you should be. You see the sights that I can see when I'm cleaning windows.
Honeymooning couples do. You should see them villain coo. You'd be surprised at things they do. When I'm cleaning windows in my profession, I'll work hard, but I'll never stop. I'll climb this blinking ladder till I get right to the top. The blushing bride, she looks divine. The bridegroom, he is doing fine. I'd rather have his job than mine. When I'm cleaning windows.
And if you enjoyed listening to Detective Nobby Lovell, then join us next time for the case of the defective driver.